An awesome group of volunteers in the northern suburbs is helping to build a better community by supporting and advocating for girls and women, ensuring that they get a fair go. The northern suburbs Zonta group, mostly women, but with growing support from men, is enriching the lives of our local ladies. Linda Tinning, a long-time Zonta member and past president of the Northern Suburbs Club, shares her Zonta story with 89.7 FM's John Logan.
Linda, Zonta and education. Education is really important in terms of changing the direction, the behaviour of people, isn't it? So,
exactly.
Of course, you play a very big role in that, not only here in the northern suburbs, but of course internationally, because your organisation is an international organisation. Do you find that you need to teach women as well as men to believe in themselves and to respect everyone in the world around them?
Yes, you have to. And we are very lucky with our Zonta Club. I mean, men are welcome to become members, but it is primarily women. But we get enormous support, from the men in our lives, the husbands, the partners, the sons, the families. And that is very important, what you've just said, John. You have to have the men on board.
There's women caught up in all sorts of slavery in some parts of the globe. Mm-hmm. In fact, there's even slavery here in Australia, believe it or not. Some of us don't believe it, but it is happening. I'm aware of that. Domestic violence, of course, that's a form of slavery as well. So what is Zonta doing to break these chains of oppression?
Well, as you said, it's an international organisation, and part of our fundraising we do send to Zonta International, which is actually based in Chicago, and they are actually linked in with the United Nations on the UN Women's Group, and they divert funds into partnership programs, like in Madagascar, for example, which is focusing on educating young girls. Because obviously when you educate young women, you've got a great opportunity then not to be caught up in things like the trafficking of women, the marriages, underage marriages, etc. And then they go on to build, hopefully, within their communities, more awareness. Yep.
I talked about domestic violence. Of course, that's a really big issue.
Yep.
You have been helping the Pat Giles Centre here in Joondalup. What have you been doing exactly?
Well, we've had a long historical relationship with the Pat Giles, and in the past, we have fundraised, diverted funds. We have supported some family holiday programs where the women and their children can have an opportunity to have a break, and we've actually gone and helped to volunteer with some of the cooking, but with the funds they employ, like youth workers or counsellors to go and help. So it's a very important part of our mission to support programs. And we also currently support another program in the northern suburbs called the Lancelin Gingin Advocacy Project. And Pat Giles actually has involvement in that. And it's a program to advocate and to educate, especially young girls in the high schools, about issues and around domestic violence, and also in the communities.
I'm very much a newbie when it comes to Zonta. I didn't know much about it until the last few months. What does Zonta actually stand for?
Well, Zonta is, it was started in the US in 1919. So we've just had 100-year celebrations. And it's a Sioux Indian word, which means honest, being honest and truthful.
Why did you join Zonta?
That's good. I, in 2004, was lecturing at the Joondalup TAFE, just across from here. I lectured in community services, and I was invited to a dinner. Like you, didn't know much about it myself, and then I got invited to join. So I have been a member ever since 2004. And why did I join? Well, first I like the people, and they're like-minded, great range of women. And we all sort of have a belief that we can help in a very small way to make the world a better place. Like-minded people.
I've been lucky enough to meet a number of young people through the Lions Youth of the Year project. Mm-hmm. I've been a judge a number of times. There's some fantastic youngsters out there in the community. Tell us about some of the inspiring young people coming through Zonta. Yes,
well, as I said, we actually fundraise and we support a program here for a scholarship for a young second-year nursing student with the School of Nursing and Midwifery. And it's called the Lucy Bowen Award. We also support another group here, ECU Women in Business. It's a network of young undergraduates. And again, we promote and support scholarships through them. We also support another program called Young Women Public Affairs, and we send information out to public and private schools in the northern suburbs for Year 12 students, and in their applications they need to demonstrate an interest in community services and that they have future goals to go on and study further into courses that we sort of say that, can support communities and, they go on to make a better world. Now, over the years, we have kept good contact with a lot of our scholarship winners. We call them our alumni, and they're inspirational. It's kind of like makes you feel really positive about the world ahead, really.
You've got a big award night coming up, haven't you? Tell us about that one.
Yes, well, in our August meeting, now we meet the first Wednesday of the month at the Wembley Golf Club. We have a dinner meeting, and we will be giving out another Young Women Public Affairs scholarship. It's worth $1,000, and also, we'll be announcing the winner of it's the Jane Klausman Award, which is a scholarship for women studying in business studies. So that's linked in, how we support ECU women in business here. But that scholarship is open to all the universities in Western Australia. So the award night on the first Wednesday in August is 30 years since we have been running the Young Women Public Affairs Scholarship in the northern suburbs.
I mentioned earlier how you work with men, and you said that you get the support of the husbands and the boyfriends and that sort of stuff. But there is a role for men apart from that, not only to help the organisation of Zonta to survive, but more than that, to thrive, but also, importantly, just generally speaking, to enrich the lives of women and girls, isn't there? I
agree, and I think it's really important. There's so much happening, with issues to do with, the Me Too movement and, women coming forward more readily now about issues to do with sexual assault, domestic violence, that, along the journey, you need your sons, your brothers, your husbands and your partners. And there are a lot of men out there who are very wonderful and do that. So, yeah.
Of course, there's been changing roles of men and women throughout the generations.
Yes.
How do you think the new generation is coping? I mean, some of the men, of course, are in a situation these days when they are required to do all sorts of things that their fathers weren't required to do. Do you think they're taking on board that this is about sharing the load? Well,
I've got two daughters who are professional women who are married to two really, really lovely blokes. And it's very much equal relationships. They all work full time, part time. The girls, and the sharing with the caring of the children, and interchanging roles, the cooking, whatever. I think that is a lot happening a lot with a lot of men and women. I think it's still a long way to go, but there are changes from, I guess, my generation. Things change. But going back to my mother's generation, I think from that generation to women like me, I was at uni in the 60s, right? That's been a time of great change. And I think that my generation of women, then I guess we encourage our daughters to believe you can do anything. And along the way, there were women with their sons of the same generation who are out there working, etc., supporting their sons. And I think there's been improvement, but it's still, everything is a long way to go.
Your organisation is certainly one about doers, getting things done.
Yes.
You're out there in the community doing positive things, as I mentioned earlier. How do people contact Zonta if they'd like to become a member of your Northern Suburbs Club?
Yes, we welcome new members. We're actually inducting 4 more in July. So, it's a wonderful club, lots of fantastic women, and we also have lots of great social events, for fundraising and etc. And our monthly dinner meetings, we always have guest speakers, and we've had some very interesting guest speakers. So first of all, if you're interested, do please go onto our Facebook page, which is the Perth Zonta Club of the Northern Suburbs. Also, I've got here a copy of the little Aussie directories. And on the back page, we are always listed Zonta Club of Perth Northern Suburbs. And there is a phone number. Please ring, go on Facebook, send us a message. One of us will answer, and we would welcome you with open arms.
Have you got the phone number in front of you?
I have. Yes. Shall I read that, John?
Absolutely.
Okay. So the phone number on the Little Aussie Directory is 0417 960 306, and our Facebook page is the Zonta Club of the Perth Northern Suburbs.
Linda Tinning from the Zonta Club of the Northern Suburbs. It's been an absolute pleasure meeting you this afternoon. Thank you for coming in. God bless you.
Thank you for the opportunity.